Welcome. Hi, I'm author Grace Wroldson, here to read to you the guide if you don't want to read my full article on how to heal from narcissistic abuse. So, these are my tips. This is my guidance. These are resources, and these are my understandings and more. I give you the 25 plus keys to healing, and I believe healing can happen for you. We must do our healing for ourselves and our children. We are the ones that lead the way. I'm the author of several books. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Grace Wroldson. My first book in the Mom series is Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self-Rules to Stay Sane. My second book is How to Fight a Narcissist in Family Court and Win. And my third, Co-Parenting with a Sociopath, Survival and Sanity Guide. And my fourth, How to Survive a Custody Battle When the Family Courts Force You to Co-Parent. These are all available on Amazon. Be willing to learn the lesson and change what you can. And my suggestion is to read them in the order written. There are some updates of how I went on to lose my custody battle, stage a comeback, how I went on to win more things, have the lawyer pay the narcissist pay my legal fees, and then get peace, which will be coming out in the next book, Peace and Cooperation. It really did go through some phases. Just a quick disclaimer that I'm not a therapist or a mental health professional or a lawyer or professional. This is my survivor wisdom of my story. My story may not follow yours. It might not even apply to you, but some things might be helpful. So take what you like and leave the rest. So, were you in a hurtful relationship with a narcissist? I believe that you can heal. Are you ready to heal from narcissistic abuse? Sick and tired of suffering narcissistic abuse? Do you know all the levels required to heal from narcissistic abuse fully? Want to stop taking the narcissistic abuse personally and move on to your next chapters of your precious life with your precious children? Are you willing to do the required work? Start taking strategic healing steps today. So, I'm here to help you maintain your sanity, save your custody case, and enjoy your child's one and only childhood. This is why I do this work for mothers and children. So, I like to ask and start with a question. What does a person do when they're unhealed? Think about this. The answer, they react, they get triggered. They go into a stress response of fight, flight, freeze, feign, and fear mode. They are launched into defense mode. Generally, they're unable to be logical while emotionally triggered. Often, they lose most of their common sense and reasoning capabilities. It's about getting into different parts of our brain. And this is why I stress that moms who are forced to co parent with a narcissist do their personal healing work. When a victim is triggered, the narcissist has the upper hand. However, in a healed state, the victim has the advantage. A person can be unaffected by an abuse tactic once they are healed. They can know some type of abuse is forthcoming from a toxic personality disordered person when dealing with them. They can name it, deflect, shield, and either respond or not respond at all. They can calmly document the narcissistic abuse tactic and a numbered list to keep a pattern of behavior with examples ready for if and when it's needed for leverage or evidence. A healed person gets out of the way to allow the narcissist to do themselves in and find other narcissistic supply. A healed person will file motions requesting their rights and a child's rights. A healed person is more likely to obtain a high powered lawyer, more likely to call police when necessary or CPS and authorities when and if needed. A healed person can do things an unhealed person can't do for their children. So the key to healing is get the upper hand on the narcissist and heal from narcissistic abuse. When we are not healed, the narcissist can use our fears, low self worth, low self esteem, and more against us when it comes to child custody. If we get triggered into a trauma reaction and fear, we tend to lose our perspective and effectiveness. So, what happens when you stay emotionally sober, solid, and stable? What happens when you're sane? You take away the narcissist's influence and ability to weaponize your weaknesses against you. This is more important than you might realize. Another question. Why is it so hard to heal from narcissistic abuse? Because there's a lot to heal from. The narcissist hurt us, but now we have to heal ourselves. Key to healing: make healing your mission. If you are reading this, watching this, listening to this, there is hope for you. You have taken the first step in your healing journey, understanding something complex and grabbing onto solutions. You're reaching out. You're taking full responsibility for your healing process. I do believe that this type of healing is a process and that it requires your patience, dedication, and self-discipline. This may also take interventions to reach certain levels of your being and a strategic approach. It could take a lot. When I attempted to heal from narcissistic abuse at just the mind level, at just the cognitive level, it wasn't enough. My healing had to penetrate the depths of me and the abuse. I couldn't put a band-aid on a gaping cut that needed stitches, gauze, real first aid, and a doctor. How far has narcissistic abuse penetrated your life? Think about that. As I always say, self-work is the most important work we will ever do. Healing is part choice. So make the choice to heal from the devastating effects of narcissistic abuse. You invest in your future when you decide to take healing steps. Your future needs your best self in it, not the narcissist. The truth is, your best self is completely narcissist free. Key to healing: the narcissist hurts us, but we must take full responsibility for our healing. Narcissists are notoriously nefarious. They can do a lot of damage on a person's psyche. You might imagine yourself as a bird with a broken wing. You will need some downtime, TLC, tender love and care, rest and recovery before you can fly again. Suffering abuse, being emotionally battered, losing a court case, losing a child, facing injustice, being lied to or lied about is no small thing. These are no small things. Acknowledge what you have gone through. You are stronger than you think. Make a list of your personal challenges that you've overcome thus far. You need to see how strong you are. I did this. I call it my I survived list. I have it in the front of my journal. It affirms my ability to adapt and overcome difficulties when I don't think I can take anymore, or if I don't think I will make it. It's okay to take a break if needed. It's okay to be on the ground healing up for a time in the future when you fly again. It's okay to be single. Believe that you will heal. Choose to have hope for yourself. It definitely sucks losing so much to a narcissist. It feels like another unfair backstab when out of the relationship with the narcissist, there's more abuse. But just think, if you can heal, you win. No, I tell all my mom clients that we can't expect fairness from an unfair person. So start by being fair to yourself. Key to healing: shake the narcissist completely. Detach, cut ties, sever cords, remove the narcissistic abuse, and get safely away. Healing from the relationship with the narcissist. Have you ever asked yourself, what will it take me to heal from the narcissist? Know that how you heal from narcissistic abuse may not be how the next victim heals. How I healed may not be your path. There are many paths to healing. What I needed may not be what you need. What inspires, motivates, and restores you might be unique to you. What's important is your commitment to healing, willingness, and open-mindedness. What's important is that you have a path and follow it, and you stay on it. What's important is that you stay inspired and uplifted. Having a basic care plan needs to be established. The fact is, no one else is going to do your healing for you, and don't wait around for the narcissist. Key to healing: be your own cheerleader. We grow when we stretch outside of our comfort zones, and healing work requires you to learn and grow. I don't believe that awful yet sometimes funny saying, getting under someone else helps you get over your ex. In my view and my experience, that's a sure recipe for disaster. Moving on without addressing personal failures, continuing into more relationships with a lack of self knowledge and an unwillingness to take ownership of the part we played is self sabotaging behavior. I originally thought I needed healing from my relationship with a narcissist from what I call the toxic trio: one, codependency; two, love addiction; and three, trauma bonds. But then I learned about another beast: narcissistic abuse. And this is an animal that is hard to corner and capture. I'm not going to tell you how to do your healing work because your healing will be your own. I wouldn't be so bold or insensitive to tell someone how to grieve the loss of a child. Grief is a very personal, sacred experience, and so is healing. Key to healing: give yourself credit for making it out of the relationship with a narcissist, because some don't, and see yourself as a survivor. In this, I will provide you with all the wisdom I have to offer on the topic from healing from narcissistic abuse. When the ex you are forced to co parent with is a narcissist. If you don't know my full story yet, I endured what I call a Salem witch trial in family court. And that type and extent of narcissistic abuse, legal abuse, and abuse by proxy not only left an impact on me, but on others who watched the tragedy unfold in my small New England town. Just like that famous town's dark history left a scar on humanity's history, it would be remembered for all time. I too endured and lived to tell the tale of fear, extreme paranoia, and a mother blaming witch hunt. We can learn a lot from history, especially our own. Key to healing: your healing is a very personal, sacred experience. Protect yourself, your vulnerable self, while you are healing. Start new personal vows. One thing is for sure: the narcissist rents a lot of prime space in our minds, in our heads, and we need to evict them for our sanity. Make it a fundamental principle that you no longer obsess or focus on the narcissist for the remainder of your days. I encourage you to make, write, say a personal vow that you will start living your life focused on making the best of a bad situation. Vow that you will start making healthy choices that give you peace of mind. Vow you will focus on yourself and make self care your full time job. One healthy choice is to heal from what you have gone through rather than to run from it or try to escape it. You have a next life to live. If you have made it out of the relationship alive, you have your life and freedom. Now you need freedom from the narcissist's unhealthy influence and past damage done. The truth is, we can't heal while being entirely focused on the narcissist. We must focus on ourselves. We need our own attention. This is about cleaning up our present emotional and mental state and making a better future. This is about us, our healing, us. Self care is not selfish, it's necessary. Key to healing: focus on yourself, not the narcissist. You matter more. One thing is for sure: it's hard to heal from narcissistic abuse when you're still under attack by the narcissist and any post separation abuse or abuse by proxy. I found it also difficult to heal when my child was being actively abused or held hostage by the narcissist. So be realistic and know what might limit your healing abilities in any given season. I encourage you to heal as much as you possibly can. Don't aim for perfection or set yourself up to be mentally hard on yourself for not completely healing from the narcissist's harm and abuse. There's no room for perfectionistic thinking when being human. Please don't have an all or nothing approach to healing. It's good to be 10% healed than 0%. Being willing to do it in stages and increments can help. Be willing to do your healing a little at a time so not to overwhelm your system. You will need to heal at the mind, body, spirit, and soul levels. It will take time for your transformation. For spinning life's straw into gold, it will take time and effort to turn your woe into wisdom. If I repeat myself, then it's important because repetition is the key to learning. Let me ask you, when it comes to your past involvement in relationship with a narcissist, can you forgive yourself? It will take time to forgive yourself for any self-harm, which is often associated with narcissistic abuse. When victims abandon themselves and their needs and truth under stress and coercion to appease the abuser, they unwillingly, often unknowingly, self-abuse. Forgiveness takes time. Forgiveness takes work. Forgiving ourselves in 1% increments is a way to approach this very worthwhile task. When we aren't mad at ourselves, we don't beat ourselves up. Self-forgiveness is a path to healing. Key to healing, learn to make the best of a bad situation. Get this skill. Remember, the lotus flower comes up out of the mud, just like that book title says. No mud, no lotus. And a side note here, to mothers forced to co-parent with a narcissist because the family courts require you to, I don't recommend attempting to heal your relationship with the narcissist directly with the narcissist for co-parent purposes until you have healed the basic relationship with yourself first. Yes, I teach about healing this co-parenting dilemma for the sake of our children using my skillful means method. But first things first, I have a gray walling method first, and there are phases. You have to get right with yourself. Are you able to validate your own reality so the narcissist can't throw you into confusion? Can you set limits and boundaries easily with others so the narcissist can't infiltrate your life and destroy more things? Are you skeptical of anything someone tells you? Do you know how to spot a liar so the narcissist can't lie to you anymore and trick you? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust your own instincts? Do you know how to feel and follow a gut feeling so the narcissist can't make you doubt yourself or question your sanity? Can you identify when you're being abused or manipulated so the narcissist can't abuse you passive aggressively or covertly? Do you fully rely on yourself now? Have you created or found your own support resources so the narcissist can't make you homeless or destitute? Do you love yourself? Do you practice self-care daily? Do you respect yourself? Do you practice self-preservation at all times? Can you make good, healthy decisions on your own behalf so the narcissist can't withhold approval and you try to work to win his favor anymore? Do you see your worth and value as a person and a parent so the narcissist can't convince you that you don't have the right to exist or that you're a bad parent? These are some of the things that need to be addressed before attempting to reconcile with another person, especially a toxic, abusive one. Many of us are really mad at ourselves for past choices, errors in judgment, and mistakes. At some level, we knew better. So reconciling with ourselves first is very important. It's for self-protection. Some say we shouldn't attempt to reconcile with an abuser. That seems to be what most DV agencies recommended to me, was to leave it alone. We don't need closure with an abuser. They said I just needed to get away. In many cases, they're right. So take what resonates with you and leave the rest of my ideas on the table. Not all things will apply to all cases, especially those involving seriously dangerous narcissists. In those cases, seek DV and crisis help as needed. Look for links to those national hotlines and services. You can learn more how I systematically stopped what I call co-parenting abuse in my blogs and books. I have a 5 factors that make the narcissist stop guide. The colossal damage the narcissist can do. Just like a virus, the narcissist infiltrated my entire life. Even after separation, my support systems were attacked while I was with him, and I was only able to cling to a few as I limped away from that long-term relationship. How far has the narcissistic abuse permeated your life? Do you know that narcissists can even ruin our family relationships with tactics such as triangulating? Or worse, have you suffered from narcissistic false accusations and secrets with your close friends who turned into their ignorant minions? Or even worse, has the narcissist created flying monkeys out of lawyers and authority figures to come after you? Or maybe they wrote to your employer or board of directors and did a character assassination attempt or trying to get you fired. If any of this abuse is hitting home, I am so sorry that it went that far. But no, you're not alone. There will be much to repair, maybe your whole life. In some cases, many of us have to start completely over, fresh and anew. However, it's essential that we come to understand what happened to us and to heal. Doing our healing work makes us less susceptible to ever going through narcissist abuse again with another narcissist. Next time, we will be wiser and more aware. We can steer clear of these monsters. I learned to immunize myself from different abuse tactics by understanding what narcissists generally do. Key to healing: get knowledgeable about narcissists and their tactics. Become less susceptible to narcissistic abuse. I wrote my way to healing, and now I write about my healing. With healing, I went from confusion, hopelessness, despair, and crippling fear, borderline agoraphobia, and questioning if I wanted to live in a world with narcissists. I went from that to total clarity, standing up for my right to exist and requesting my rights as a parent, and then requesting my child's rights. I got into it. I get into this more in depth as you read or listen on, but you probably have guessed you will need healing at multiple levels to overcome narcissistic abuse. Narcissists, left unchecked, can ruin everything from our sense of self to our sense of reality to our reputation and finances. For example, we often need healing at the mind level, psychological level, emotional level, physical level, social level, financial level, energetic and cellular level, friendship level, and family level. Healing relationships with alienated children. Basically, all layers and levels of us have to rewrite the corrupt coding of a narcissist's toxic influence. We have to break free, claim our freedom, and use our freedom of choice to repair the damage done. Stepping into our freedoms can feel scary, but we grow outside our comfort zone. If we have a narcissistic parent, rewiring our programming will take self-awareness and effort. It might feel like a big task, but you must believe it can be done. Nature has a way of healing itself naturally, and we also know that helping ourselves heal in various ways can expedite the healing process. First, we have to know all the major levels that we need to address. We are complex creatures, and many say that narcissistic abuse is like CPTSD, complex post traumatic stress disorder. And I believe it. Narcissism is a diagnosable personality disorder, and narcissists certainly cause tons of stress to anyone who deals with them. Start your healing journey from narcissistic abuse today. If you're still listening to this or reading this, welcome to the start of your healing journey and process. Consider this an invitation to an educational crash course in understanding the dynamics of narcissistic abuse and what's required to fully heal from the after effects. I am glad you are reading this and have taken the first steps. Be ready to take notes, solidify your wisdom, and learn how this healing process is truly a unique and often zigzag process. Buckle up, because it may take several programs, methods, lots of tools, lots of self-discipline, self-focus, and self-restraint. It can be a bit bumpy. I once asked my Al-Anon sponsor, how do I stop being so triggered by the narcissist? He told me it was a choice. I was confused. In my awful triggered state, I didn't see any choice. It was an involuntary reaction, much like PTSD. Then I asked, where are the wires to this bomb of fear that gets set off in me anytime I deal with a narcissist? I figured if I could clip the connection, then my trigger button could still be pushed, but I wouldn't react. Guess what? I never found a quick fix to stop being triggered. I found that I needed to, 1, not take it personally. 2, be able to name the tactic for personal control and documentation of the stuff he was dishing out to use against him later. And 3, have already decided ahead of time what I will do when he is abusive as a co-parent. For me, the key to stopping being triggered was to decide ahead of time how I would respond inside. I came up with a 2-sentence phrase I would say to myself that diffused my hot buttons. It was similar to a return to sender, quote unquote, response when no one is there at the address to get the mail anymore. Remember the saying we used as kids? I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. Well, that's similar to what I said to myself. My long silence and non reaction shocked and scared the narcissist for years. He then went quiet too. He, the attacker, abuser, instinctively knew, like a predator tracking his prey, that something was up. In nature, prey learn all kinds of survival strategies, including turning different colors to camouflage and hide, to playing dead, to squirting black ink to evade the predator. I realized I needed a hard shell like a turtle. My skin was way too thin. So, have a handy script for yourself. You can pause now and make one up. The military and EMTs, emergency medical technicians, train for tough situations and practice them routinely so that their reactions are useful, careful, and effective in the face of stressful situations and tragedy. Train for being triggered. Prepare. Preparation is one key to success in this arena. My DV counselor helped me the most with this issue. Not everyone knows how to help people deal with narcissistic abuse. Key to healing: decide ahead of time how you will respond, or what you will do, or what you won't do. Be ready. So, own your healing from narcissistic abuse. Your journey is yours. Own it. It will be up to you to make a special blend that heals you at the core levels and then heals your life. What we do on the inside gets reflected on the outside. A complete healing has to reach all core levels of you: mind, body, spirit, and soul. So notice what corner of your life is lacking a strong pillar of support. Seek to reinforce or establish that structure. Do you not have a social life of friends and a safe family? Maybe it's time to find support groups and heal this. Do you not have a spiritual life? Maybe it's time to find a loving higher power to lean on that is unaffected by narcissistic abuse and bigger than the narcissist. And heal this. Even though I rarely give advice, I will advise you to keep an open mind to all the healing help available to abuse victims. We need help. We have to heal this. We truly never know what will finally seal our wounds for good. We are sometimes surprised. For example, I never thought a DV, domestic violence support group for other victims, would be so eye-opening and affirming. When I shared that my ex was calling me crazy and falsely accusing me of things to win in family court, each abused woman in the circle had the same issue with their abuser. We were able to laugh at the absurdity of false allegations. We collectively found it pathetic and ludicrous for them to call us crazy, quote unquote, only after we break up with them. We are so called, quote unquote, crazy, but these narcissists heavily pursued us with compliments to keep us hooked and reeled us back with all kinds of tactics like love bombing. If we were so, quote unquote, crazy, why did they get involved with us in the first place? Question mark. Bottom line, don't believe the narcissist lies about you. Remember who you are. Key to healing: write down a list of all your good qualities to remember and recall who you are. Note: because the narcissist that I was dealing with was not repeatedly physically abusive, I originally didn't think I qualified for DV counseling or DV support groups. But what I learned was that the one time he was physical with me at the 10-year mark, it was all it took for me to be terrified of him and for his dominance to have control. I would self abandon, allow disrespect to avoid his potential hostility and future violence. I spent 15 years with a potentially violent, hateful, aggressive, domineering bully. He was abusive in more ways than one. He was abusive in ways I didn't understand until I got out of the relationship. And I was surprised to learn in DV educational classes how abusive he was towards me. I was astounded to see the list of tactics he used against me that were very psychologically damaging. I was even more surprised by how I coped using denial for years and how I minimized his harm with insults, demeaning comments, constant criticisms, and personal slights, all directed at me. The lengths I went to appease and not trigger his dark side after that one episode meant bending to his wishes, breaking my self-respect, and dishonoring myself and my truth. Why do I tell you this? Because please don't assume that you don't qualify for DV help. Abusers abuse. See some of the abuse tactics in my lists of co-parenting abuse list on my blog. You might uncover many side paths and detours on your journey to healing. I encourage you to explore them, but keep on the lookout for con men and women looking to make a quick buck off the new buzzword narcissist and anyone desperate. Quantum healing, energy work, and subconscious mind programming has proved beneficial in my experience. Also, unsuspectingly helpful was me finding a Christian church in the woods and hearing passages from the Bible that said, when you've done all that you can possibly do, just stand. Many times I had to call some wise church women and put on the armor of God, as they said, and show up for another court trial and stand while the injustices were being dealt to me. After hearing in various sermons of local churches some of the Bible stories of narcissists, I realized that they had the same problem back then too. My advice is to take everything and anything that's helpful in your healing journey as tools, maps, and walking sticks, as long as it's healthy and doesn't harm anyone, as long as you're not being taken advantage of by another narcissist. Watch out for spiritual narcissists because those, in my view, are the worst kind. Make use of whatever healing options are available to you. Flexibility and adaptability are keys to surviving this and anything else in life. Key to healing: use what's available to you. Seek sources of healing. Be willing to try something new, maybe something old. Make a combination of what speaks to you or what you know does work for you. To get some ideas of things you can do to start actively healing from narcissistic abuse, you can read or watch my video or blog, How to Break Trauma Bonds If You Love an Alcoholic or Narcissist. I tell my mom clients, from what I've observed, narcissists typically win by emotionally destabilizing the target, who is unhealed. This means if we stay emotionally sober and keep our sanity, we can ride out the storm of drama, trauma, and chaos that a narcissist spins up like twisters and tornadoes that wreak havoc. This means that if we heal and overcome abuse, the narcissist has no foothold in our mind or emotions anymore. Please be careful of seeking a quick fix to a co-parenting dilemma or healing from narcissistic abuse. Watch out for expensive programs and big promises. Our growth and evolution and maturity take time and dedication. We can't just push a button and reset like a computer, although I wish a power wash was possible. Remember, too, that our healing happens in the present, not in the past. And I say this so you are careful of therapists who want to dredge up traumatic childhood memories and look at them under a microscope for so-called healing from the past. This can be counterproductive to learning, healing, and outgrowing the narcissist in the present. Make a point to close childhood chapters, including the chapter with the narcissist, and commit to writing a new life story that is abuse-free. You are the author, so take authority. We must move forward. As they say, you can glance at your past for reference points and for learning, but don't stare. Key to healing: commit to your healing journey as a sacred quest of self-discovery. If you make this commitment to yourself and embark on this journey, you are giving yourself a chance at a happy life. Depending on the mindset you choose, you can turn your struggles into an adventure. Remember that every great quest starts with great questions. You might need to examine some key causes and ask questions like, how did you attract the narcissist? Were you lonely, desperate, needy, bored? If you had grown lonely, did you neglect making valuable friendships? Did you not create a life that was fulfilling with hobbies, interests as an adult? Did you not grieve a relationship that ended and jumped into one with a narcissist out of desperation? I believe there's value in looking at what caused us to be involved with a narcissist and take responsibility for our part in this. When we own the reasons, we can change and choose differently, more consciously next time. Motives matter. But while doing self-examination, which is an important step in any of the 12-step programs that I will talk about, don't get stuck in any self-blame. It's a fact that narcissists tend to move victims along fast so they can ensnare them. Just own your past naivete. Know that now that you know that narcissists exist and you know what to watch out for. Some essential keys that helped me start my healing journey were having a victor mindset rather than a victim mentality, having an overcomer survivor mindset, and focusing on something other and more important than the narcissist. Key to healing: keep in mind that many of us have overcome, survived, and now thrive because of what happened to us, because of narcissistic abuse, and not just despite the abuse. I'm going to pause right here so that you can watch part 2. Thank you for watching. I'm Grace Wroldson. These will be my 25 keys to healing. Please watch video 2 to get all of them so that you can take this in bite-sized chunks. You can find any of my books. They are available on Amazon. If you are ready to learn, I am here to teach. You can keep learning, healing, and growing, and we can change what we can. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in part 2 video.